Hey everybody, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert Pack, and give a warm welcome to our Void Miner Tier 3, as well as a Solar Panel Tier 3, and the new wall designs of our beautiful base. I've got a few things planned for today, and hopefully all of them are going to be straightforward to follow, and not going to take me 40 billion hours. But you never know, it's an Expert Pack, so let's just get straight into it. First up on the agenda is going to be the arc furnace, for a reason I will get to very shortly. We're going to need a fair amount of things, but while we're at our matter replication, let's get our engineering blocks. We need 1 redstone, we need 5 heavy engineering blocks, and 10 light engineering blocks, which should also give us a few quests. Oh yeah, we'll claim those. I do love a bit of gambling. Not terrible rewards. Wind turbine's pretty good, and so is the energy acceptor. We're going to need a cauldron, some steel scaffolding, lots of steel sheet metal, some steel sheet metal slabs, 6 blocks of steel, and 27 reinforced blast bricks. Everything is checked off the list, and I have picked a suitable location nice and deep in our base, just sitting near our old potato field, with our ethylene generators still running at full capacity. So let's build. And wow, doesn't that just look beautiful? So I know we have our power inputs on the back, our output on the back as well for slag, and I don't know actually the rest of it. So hopefully we can figure this out. I know we do need electrodes though. And now, hopefully we have enough coal coke to make the electrodes. So we need 4 ingots per and 1 dust. I think it's in the nuclear craft manufactory. There we go. So we need 8 coke dust to make 1. We need 36. So we can only make 1 electrode. 32. Might see if we can't get some extra coal coke by using our coke ovens in our setup that again is just above the potatoes and looking over our crop fields. And the giant brown sludge tank. Isn't that just beautiful? But let's get to crafting. We need to crush the coal coke into coke dust, and then we can throw it through a manufactory to make HOP graphite dust, and HOP graphite dust is just smelted into HOP graphite. Well, I guess we have to make it at 50% efficiency because we don't have the electrodes blueprint. Unless it's in here. Oh, we do. That's actually fantastic. Never mind. Well, I'll be honest, I have no idea where my engineer's workbench has gone, so I guess we'll just have to make another one. And there we go. 1 graphite electrode. Now we can make it unbreakable if you have titanium iridium alloy, but I literally have no idea how to get that, so we're not going to worry about it. So hopefully 1 electrode is enough. So that is one thing off the to-do list. So the next step is a little bit of a rabbit hole, and we are going to have to delve into some magic mods. So bear with me while we skip through the stuff that I do not like. So we've actually done a lot of exploration around here, and what we need to find is a small marble structure, or I suppose the larger ones of the marble structures. So let's just see if we can find any. There's one down south. So I've not played with astral sorcery before, but I actually don't think this is the right one. No, it's not. Okay, well, that's a setback. So it's not that small fountain looking one, then it needs to be an even larger one, but I can only see the small fountains, so let me do some searching. Well, it actually turns out that there was one even closer. It was just hiding in the snow, and we have to kind of get there without breaking everything, because what we need is here, a floating crystal. So now we should be able to make the luminous crafting table. Fantastic. I don't think that's... yeah, I don't really know what that does. I guess we'll just ignore it for now. But looking through the quest line, I suppose we probably need to make the resonating wand next. So let's just request all the stuff and then place it in. Oh, it's in a crafting table. Oh wow, and look at that, I found my engineer's workbench. Of course I did. We have to go back because you can only craft the resonating wand at the altar. There we go, resonating wand. Oh, also there's a chest. So now there's lots to do in this mod pack, which is, I'm sure, a fantastic mod, and astral sorcery will definitely never be a waste of time ever. But we actually have to move on. We need to go to Botania now. And Botania is going to need the petal apothecary. And it looks like we probably don't have enough mystical flowers, so we need to go on the hunt for some flowers. Yay! More foraging. I can't wait. So after becoming an expert forager, we've managed to get ourselves some mystical white petals. We can now maybe make this. I've got it the other way around. There we go. And we need our resonating wand. And I believe we just tap, see a beautiful white light, and get our item, please. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. That took a while. And now we've unlocked Botania. Next up is crafting the pure daisy, which I believe is 4 white petals and a seed to finish it off, and pure daisy acquired. We should probably make sure that we actually claim the quests. There we go. And a free loot chest, which gives us doors. Now, this is all a very temporary setup, but next up is going to be living rock, which is going to need arcane stone. I believe we can just put some crystals in some stone and make it, and then all we have to do is place it around the pure daisy like so, and it will slowly turn into our living rock. Alongside living rock, we're going to want an endo flame, which is 2 brown, 1 red, and 1 grey. So we need 1 red, 1 grey, and 1 brown. Turn those into our petals, which it does look like we can just duplicate. So we might just do that, just to make sure. So 2 brown, red, and grey. And of course, it's light grey. Alrighty, so light grey dye this time. Give it a quick little bone meal. And place in our grey endo flame now. So we have mana generation. We've also got our living rock. Now we should be able to make the diluted mana pool. And then the full mana pool will need some more living rock. So we'll just do that all over again. And we're going to need some white petal blocks. And we may as well just duplicate our white petals. There we go, 64. And we need 2 petal blocks. Now we can make the full-fledged mana pool. Oh, of course, it actually needs a light grey petal block. Goodness gracious. I am not observant today at all. So I'll make a light grey petal block. And we do actually have lots of rock crystals. We managed to get those from our laser miner. So now we have a mana pool. Next up is going to be the mana spreader. So we're going to need some glimmering living wood. We're going to need living wood, which is infused wood, which we're going to need liquid starlight for. So we need to make a light well. I know I am absolutely blitzing through it. I promise things will slow down shortly. Stick with me for just a little bit longer. So we're going to need 3 runed marble and 2 chiseled marble. So let's put marble in here, and we can't get runed. Okay. All right. Maybe we have to craft it. Yes, we do. 3 runed marble. We actually already have 2 chiseled marble. We need an aquamarine. We have too many aquamarines. And a rock crystal. And that can just be made in starlight. And that can just be made outside in the luminous crafting table. Hopefully there's still enough. Done. Now we have our light well. We'll make a fluid placer from cyclic. I actually think all we need to do is just dissolve these in here, and that's going to take a while, so let's just speed it up. So it makes 200 each. Cool. Let's just throw a bunch in there, because now we need some illumination powder. We need the glimmering living wood. Living wood is infused wood, and infused wood is in the starlight. Okay. Actually, you know what? We might have just had the best skip ever. Let's just find out and see how many we can get here. So, because I know black lotuses give you a bunch of mana when you throw them in. You maybe have to give them to something. I don't know. Whatever. So, let's just grab a bunch of our rock crystals and just start dissolving them. So, we'll time in a bottle our entire thing. Right. Rock crystals give you a lot of liquid starlight. That is good. Oh, this is actually a lot. What the heck? There we go. First one finally broke. So, we need this liquid starlight for our infused wood, which is incredibly expensive. I wish there was another way to make it, but luckily we have hundreds of hours in the time in the bottle, so we're not stressed. Alrighty, let's start throwing our oak logs in there. I might turn my electromagnet off then, see how much it can dissolve in there. Oh, it doesn't consume it. Oh, well, that's way cheaper than I thought. Speed up the daisy as well. Harvest those. And now we are getting living wood. There we go. No, I reckon that's probably enough. So now let's see what else we need. We need the lime petal blocks. We need some lime petals. Make sure we duplicate them enough times. Lime petal block. Our 2 glimmering living woods. Got the rest, and now the last bit is the illumination powder, which is glowstone, aquamarine, and niter. And I do not have niter. Oh dear. Right, well, I guess we can't skip thaumcraft, so I will see you in a bit when I've got that all prepared. And now to reveal to you how we are going to skip most of the magic mod progression for now, of course. The beautiful arc furnace and a stupid amount of filtering, as well as some backup overflow. So no doubt if you've played Enigmatica 2, you will know that most mobs spawn with armor on. And we can see, not creepers, but you can see that almost every single monster in here spawns with some level of armor on. And we used to just immediately trash it. But now what we can do is with our beautiful powered anvil, any item that can be repaired will be sent in, repaired. So our knightly boots, they'll get repaired. We'll buffer them in this shulker box here. And then via a really long conduit, send it into the arc furnace to be recycled down into its ingots, brought into an ME interface, and sent into our terminals, which, as we can see, we have managed to buffer up 230 ironwood, some mana steel, night metal, fiery ingots, prudentium, superium, intermedium, elementium, terra steel, things that we really wouldn't have access to outside of using insane amounts of magic mods, which just aren't a thing that I like using. So let's paint some facades, patch up this mess and this mess, and replace this stone with stone brick, and finish that project. So I think next up, we're going to start making some more inroads towards finishing this game. I suppose I have been doing that already, but let's be more targeted. We need titanium. And I know of 2 ways of getting titanium, and there is a titanium skip with rutile ore. But if that doesn't work, we might just need to do the recipe with the advanced metallurgic fabricator, which is a little bit of a rabbit hole in itself as well. So I believe what we need is the excavator, which looks a bit like this, and then also needs its mining drill, which is a fair amount of steel frames. So let's get this going and see if we can't figure it out. So I know we need a core sampler, which is going to just need some steel fences. And wow, I think we're out of steel. Right, well, let's just throw some of that to craft. And if you aren't aware of how I'm automating the infusing factories, I'm sending an interface into a drawer, and only a 2x1 drawer, inputting our extras in the bottom and inputs on the side, and then that is how I automate it. So not too challenging, but just requires a little bit of finagling. Well, that steel is going to take some time, so let's focus on some other things. We are going to need some engineering blocks, which we need to replicate. So we need 5 heavy engineering blocks, and obviously we'll use our time in the bottle here. So there's 5 heavy engineering blocks. We need 9 light engineering blocks, but we also need 1 We needed 1 redstone engineering block, and now we have 13. And we need 9 light engineering blocks, which I don't think I actually have on replication, which is a little bit silly of me. But they're actually very easy to make. So there's the engineering blocks. Radiator blocks. Haven't made those yet. We're going to need 3 radiator blocks, which is more steel and some water buckets. And here comes the steel. That's very nice. There are our radiator blocks. We have 16 steel scaffolding in storage, so that's 6 done, and 15 sheet metal. So there's 7, and there's 15 on the dot. So that's all the materials for the excavator. And now we are going to need our actual drill, which is 9 blocks of steel and 20 steel scaffolding. Alrighty, so there's 9 blocks of steel. So it looks like we're using our press. So we'll place the rod mold and then throw that in there. Of course, I've still got my dislocator on. Nice. So throw that there. And we can speed that up. So now we just make a buttload of scaffolding, and we can probably call that a day. We're also going to want our core sampler, which will take steel fences. And now we need a way to power all this. I think energy cell frames might be the way to go here, because we can fill them, and then they have 20 million RF with 10,000 back and forth. So let's just make an energy frame. That is 1 machine frame. And it needs 500, so can we do 400 divided by 8? No, we can't use that anymore. I think that's 50? No, I might be crazy. No, I'm not. I'm not crazy. It really does take 50 compressed redstone to make a single energy frame. So in our infusing factory, let's dunk in 50 redstone. That's 4,000. I really am not very smart. Well, there's our energy frame. We're going to need... Oh, actually, what was that? A redstone conductance coil. So we'll throw some electrum through the infusing factory now as well. Make our energy cell basic. Make a hardened upgrade kit. Make a reinforced upgrade kit as well. And now bang and bang. That is 180 million RF with 90,000 RF per tick. Beautiful. I think this is only 51 million. And its RF per tick in and out is 20,000. So it's definitely better than the ultimate cube from Mechanism. But I think we're about to drain most of our power here if we try and charge this up. There we go. So now we're getting 90,000 in, and I reckon the rest of the base is probably depowered now. That's going to take a very long time. But while we wait for that to charge, let's just start drilling for samples. I think we're looking for an aluminium vein. I'm not actually sure, but we'll find out. So you'll be joining me when we find the correct vein. So I scoured for a while and could not find a single bauxite vein. In the book, it actually says that it can be found anywhere but the Dimension 1. So maybe we actually can't get it anymore, and that was an old skip, but who knows. What that means for us is that we need to start getting into multi-block madness. And that means the Advanced Metallurgic Fabricator, which requires this amount of stuff. Lots of stuff. And the reason why we set up our arc furnace, those 6 blocks of furry metal are completely free. We don't have to go to the Twilight Forest yet. So let's just get the ball rolling by crafting our 6 blocks of fiery metal. We'll just make any old blueprint here to make this. Actually, that's dumb of me. We don't have modularium. And that's going to be a pretty horrible recipe. Let's see how much platinum we have. Well, we're not shy on platinum. Thank goodness for that. We need to make pulsating crystals, which are very cheap. And you need redstone blocks. Okay, that's actually not too bad. So let's just make up a bunch of these. That was more than I thought. Is there anything else we can do with them? Oh, travel anchors. I completely forgot about these beautiful pieces of kit. So if you're unaware, travel anchors allow you to shift and teleport between locations. This will definitely speed up our transit around the base. So now we can just move from position to position nice and easily. So back on topic, platinum electric steel. I do believe we have that automated. Let's just see. No, we don't. Perfectly fine. Let's just set a recipe for that in our alloy furnace. That is the wrong type of silicon for us. Let's just craft the one that actually works. And there we go, electrical steel. And it is indeed 1-to-1. Perfect. So into the alloy smelter. Now we need our empowered palace crystals, which probably gonna have to do this manually. So we'll make some palace crystals, and then we need some slime. Let's just see how much we have. We've got a few blocks. We'll just batch craft these so we don't have to make them really ever again. So we'll grab 16 cobalt. We need sapphires. Luckily, we get those from our miners. And dense lapis plates. And lapis plates are just pressurizing lapis. We can just throw that in there. I think our Ender IO conduits really are starting to limit us in terms of what we can do, but that's a problem that we're looking to solve. Alrighty, so back at the empowering setup, we have our palace crystal in the middle, slime, cobalt, dense lapis plate, and sapphires, and now we play a waiting game. So I'll see you back when we're done. So after a little clicky, we probably have enough here if we just request some more electric steel. Let's say 200, why not? Smash out some more redstone engineering blocks, a little bit of time in the bottle. We should be left with enough materials to start making some modularium. And we need, we're actually going to need lots of it. Gearboxes and vents, oh my. Might not have made enough empowered palace crystals, but let's just find out. We'll make a full stack, and now we can make our machine blueprint for the advanced metallurgic fabricator. Yeah, I don't think there's any actual quests for it, but it is necessary for game progression. So now we really need to just take a look at what we need. We are going to need 25 machine casings. I think we'll use hardened glass to make it 16. The machine controller, which we don't have anything for right now. So let's just see how hard this is. We've got the machine base, screen. We need our carpenter with bronze and redstone. So let's get some more redstone. Let's craft some more bronze. Go to our carpenter, and we need to change the recipe. Believe it's in the carpenter, right? Yep. And now we somehow need to get our IC2 coolant out, which I think we should just be able to use conduits. We'll just place our water source next to it, and that should start making them. Do we need these anymore? Doesn't look like it. So we just get 2, and now we make some blocks of modularium on these machine casings, and done. Machine controller, all finished up. So what's next? We need 4 machine vents and 2 machine circuitries. So the machine vent, that looks terrible. I hope that you only need 2. Thank goodness. Turbine vents. We need to make turbine casing, which we actually have none of. Fission reactor casing, and steel casings. My goodness me, this is a lot. How about I do some crafting and show you the highlights later? And finally, after a lot of radiation poisoning and a bunch of micro crafting, we have enough to make our advanced metallurgic fabricator. My thoughts are that we should probably put it in the same room as the arc furnace. They just seem to be 2 related things, you know? Arc furnace, metallurgic fabricator. It just makes sense to me. So let's just get straight into building it. Fantastic, all finished. So now I can unfavorite all of these items that we don't need anymore. And we can work on figuring out how we're going to get liquid chlorine, magnesium, salt, and carbon plates. But I think that's probably a task for next time. This episode has gone on long enough. So next time we'll start with titanium, Ender IO, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get some wireless power. But with that all being said, I want to give a huge shout out to the channel members, Timbo and 56. As well as everybody else who is supporting the channel. It means a lot, and I am really just doing what I love right now, and I'm glad you're loving it too. So remember, if you really do love it, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave me some feedback. I'm always open to it. But I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.